Imagine running a marathon, 26.2 miles of grueling effort. Now, picture something even more challenging, a race across the entire planet. Ready for the ultimate running adventure? Forget city marathons or cross-country treks. How about an epic run from the South Pole to the North Pole? That's right, we're talking about a mind-bending, globe-spanning adventure from the icy bottom of the Earth to its very peak. Is such a feat even possible? What insurmountable obstacles would we face? And just how long would it take to conquer this extraordinary distance on foot? By the end of this video, you'll not only know the answers to these questions, but you'll also have a newfound appreciation for the staggering scale of our planet and the human spirit's relentless drive to push boundaries. Before we lace up our running shoes, let's take a moment to appreciate the sheer scale of this endeavor. Imagine the Earth's poles, separated by an unbelievable 12,432 miles, or about 20,000 kilometers as the crow flies, from the frigid South Pole all the way to the frozen North. But here's the twist. Running in a straight line from pole to pole isn't just difficult, it's impossible. The journey would take you through some of the most hostile and diverse terrains on Earth. Can you imagine what it's like to face such extremes, day after day? Picture this, starting in the icy deserts of Antarctica, pushing through the scorching heat of Africa's vast deserts, and finally braving the frozen, barren tundra of the Arctic. This wouldn't just be a run, it would be the ultimate test of human endurance. Now let's talk numbers. If you could somehow maintain a steady pace of 6 miles per hour, about 10 kilometers per hour, without ever stopping, not even for a sip of water, it would still take over 2,000 hours, or roughly 83 days, to complete this run. And that's in a world where you don't need to eat, sleep, or rest. But in the real world, where every step comes with its own set of challenges, how long would it actually take to run from the South Pole to the North Pole? Let's break it down, step by step. Our epic journey begins in one of the most unforgiving environments on Earth, the South Pole. Situated at an altitude of 9,300 feet above sea level, you might think that's high enough, but thanks to the Earth's unique shape, it feels like you're running at an altitude of 11,000 feet, thinner air, less oxygen, and a much harder start to your run. Welcome to Antarctica, a land where extremes are the norm. In winter, temperatures can dive below a bone-chilling minus 100 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 73 degrees Celsius, and even in the peak of summer, the mercury rarely climbs above minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 29 degrees Celsius. Running here isn't just a challenge, it's a fight for survival. You'd need gear more suited to a polar expedition than a marathon, just to stay alive. But it's not just the cold that's your enemy. The entire continent is blanketed by a massive ice sheet, more than a mile thick in some areas. Each step on hard-packed snow and ice is a battle, with winds howling at over 60 miles per hour. Here's something to ponder. The winds are so fierce at the South Pole that they've been known to rip entire tents from the ground. And the ice? If it all melted, it would cause global sea levels to rise by a staggering 200 feet. So how long would it take to conquer Antarctica? The distance from the South Pole to the coast is about 800 miles or 1,300 kilometers. Even if you managed a grueling pace of 20 miles a day, an optimistic target in these conditions, it would still take you about 40 days just to reach the continent's edge. But don't get too comfortable, this is just the beginning. Reaching the coast is merely the first leg of an unimaginably long journey. Surviving the frozen wilderness of Antarctica is just the beginning. Now we face the next daunting obstacle, crossing the Southern Ocean. This frigid expanse separates the icy continent from the rest of the world, and since this is a continuous run, we need to account for how we'll cross this unforgiving stretch of water. Let's assume we take the shortest route, from the Antarctic coast to the southern tip of South America. Tierra del Fuego, approximately 600 miles or 1,000 kilometers across open water. Once we step ashore in South America, the running resumes. But this leg of the journey introduces a whole new set of challenges. First up, the Andes. This is the longest mountain range in the world, snaking through the western edge of South America with peaks towering over 20,000 feet, or 6,096 meters. Running through these mountains isn't just difficult, it's an endurance test on a colossal scale. But the Andes are just the start. Beyond these rugged peaks lie the diverse and daunting landscapes of South America. You'll push through scorching deserts, vast savannas, and the dense, almost impenetrable Amazon rainforest. Running through the Amazon means navigating one of the most biodiverse yet challenging environments on Earth. Here's a fun fact to ponder as you imagine this leg of the journey. The Amazon rainforest is home to more than 400 billion individual trees and produces 20% of the world's oxygen. It's so immense that large parts of it remain unexplored, making every step an adventure into the unknown. From South America, our path leads to Central America, then North America. The distance from the tip of South America to the US-Canada border is roughly 8,000 miles or 13,000 kilometers. Even if you could maintain a brisk pace of 25 miles a day, an optimistic target given the brutal terrain and unpredictable climates, it would still take you about 320 days to reach Canada. But before you start celebrating, remember, there's still an epic journey ahead. After making it to Canada, you've conquered so much, but the final leg of this journey might be just the toughest yet. The distance from the US-Canada border to the North Pole is roughly 3,400 miles, or 5,500 kilometers, and it takes you through some of the most remote and unforgiving terrain on the planet. First, you'll plunge into the vast boreal forests of northern Canada, also known as the taiga. These dense woods are a labyrinth of swamps and lakes, with weather that can turn brutally cold, especially in the dead of winter. And as if the freezing temperatures weren't enough, you'll have to be on a high alert for wildlife like bears and wolves, creatures that could turn your run into a high-stakes survival situation. As you push further north, you'll break out of the forests and into the Arctic tundra, a seemingly endless frozen desert. Here, temperatures can plummet to a bone-chilling -40 degrees Fahrenheit or -40 degrees Celsius, and the ground beneath your feet is permanently frozen. Running through this barren landscape will test every ounce of your physical and mental endurance. But the ultimate challenge still lies ahead, the Arctic Ocean. To reach the North Pole, you'll have to traverse a treacherous expanse of sea ice. In summer, the ice thins and becomes dangerously unstable, making every step a gamble. In winter, the ice is thicker, but the relentless darkness and extreme cold turn the journey into a grueling fight for survival. Here's a mind-boggling fact. The North Pole isn't a fixed point on solid ground. It's a floating sheet of ice, constantly shifting with the Arctic currents. So even if you reach the top of the world, you might discover that it's drifted away by the time you arrive. Given the extreme conditions, maintaining a pace of 15 miles a day would take 227 days to reach the North Pole from the Canadian border. So what's the total time for this epic journey from the South Pole to the North Pole? Let's add it all up. Now, let's crunch the numbers. Crossing Antarctica would take roughly 40 days. Then add 320 days to traverse South and Central America up to Canada. And finally, another 227 days to reach the North Pole from there. That gives us a grand total of approximately 587 days, just over a year and a half of relentless, continuous running. But here's the thing, that's the absolute best case scenario. We're assuming everything goes perfectly, no injuries, no significant delays, and ideal conditions every step of the way. The reality? With the myriad challenges you'd face, from unpredictable weather to logistical nightmares, this epic journey could easily stretch into 2 years or more. And it's not just about the physical demands. Consider the mental and emotional toil. Running across an entire planet just isn't a test of stamina, it's a test of spirit. You'd face crushing isolation, punishing temperatures, and the relentless pressure to keep moving forward, even when your body and mind scream to stop. So, could it be done? Theoretically, yes, but make no mistake, It would be one of the most challenging, grueling undertakings in human history. While it's fascinating to imagine, this journey also serves as a powerful reminder of the sheer size and diversity of our planet. From the icy deserts of Antarctica to the frozen wilderness of the Arctic, the Earth is a place of astonishing extremes, each presenting its own set of unique challenges. This isn't just a numbers game. It's about grasping the incredible distances and extremes our planet holds, and what it would truly take physically, mentally, and emotionally to conquer them. Are you up for it? In our next video, we're tackling another extreme challenge. What would it take to swim across the Pacific Ocean? Could anyone survive it? How long would it take? Find out next time. Until then, keep exploring, keep challenging yourself, and keep pushing the boundaries of what you believe is possible. See you next time.